Buffs Nation, what's going on? Happy Friday. Of course, I'm having all these issues. Hold on one second. All right. I think we're good now. Okay. Well, what better way than to start your weekend than with the Colorado superfan himself, Brandon McCartney? Welcome to the show. Y'all hit that like and give Brandon a warm welcome. Brandon, what is going on? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We're 3-2 entering the Arizona State game, so I can't complain.
I know, man. This has been a wonderful start to the year. And for my viewers that are just for the first time seeing an episode that we've done here with Brandon, um, Brandon comes from Colorado football royalty, the grandson of legendary coach Bill McCartney. For those who are just meeting you for the first time, Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became, such a big part of Colorado Buffalo fanhood.
So my name is Brandon McCartney. I go by bmac. My Twitter is Wired, Fired, and Inspired. For those of you who might want to follow me, um, I make Twitter prediction videos before every Colorado football game. They're not always accurate, but they're fun to make. But my grandpa is the legendary Bill McCartney, who won the 1990 national championship, and that's kind of how my fandom began. I was really born into it, um, and yeah, it's just been really fun, especially this past year, and just growing up around my grandpa and hearing all the amazing stories that he has to tell me, and just from my dad telling me stories too. It's really grown from that, and just watching the Buffs every Saturday for the last 15, 20 years, and and it's just been really fun, especially this season. Well, the past the past 20 years haven't been exactly as fun as it's been this year, but yeah, it's it's been really a whirlwind. So
It really has. It really has. And man, I think that's it's like, some people, I guess, they're getting, pissed off or frustrated, with all the attention that we're getting, but it's making up for the lack of the last 20 years, that we've had or so. So
exactly.
you got to look at it that way. But I'm curious, BMAC, before we dive into the season, have you had a chance to talk with your grandpa at all as the season has, progressed? How is the McCartney family right now feeling about the Buffs season so far?
I haven't had a chance to talk to my grandpa about the season, but I hope uh, I hopefully I will get the chance to soon. But as far as the McCartney family, we're really excited about the Buffaloes because we the last time we've been over 500 was 2016, and that
Yep.
was a really exciting season. But the future's really bright. The McCartneys are really excited, and I guess you can say we're just really wired, fired, and inspired.
Man, I love it. I love it. I was waiting for you to drop that. Well, I think that's great, Brandon. And man, I remember last time you had on here, or you came on here, you were saying, you know, my prediction, if I could give a prediction to start the year 3-0, we hit that. Sorry, I forgot to send you that clip. But
All
hopefully
good.
all is forgiven. And
All good.
you we had a tough loss against Oregon, USC. What has been like some of the positives or things that you've enjoyed about the season so far?
Well, I've really enjoyed Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
I don't think in my lifetime we've had a quarterback quite like him. I mean, last year our quarterbacks we've had five combined and they've thrown for like 2,075 yards, and Shedeur's already at 1,700 and something like that. And he's on pace to blow away all those records.
Yeah.
And we already have 22 touchdowns this year compared to 21 last year. So and we're only 5 games in, and I just really love the passing game. The receiving core's been awesome, especially with newfound receiver Omarion Miller. I think he's going to have a great game against Arizona State tomorrow. I mean, I saw a stat last week that said um, first game wide receivers who made their debut, and Omarion was on top of the list with 195 yards, and he only played a quarter and a half last week. That's awesome, and I do think that we could get the running game going more, and we do need an offensive line, but I think Dion's trying hard to work on that, and personally, we need to work on the defensive line, stopping the defensive run, and just attacking the quarterback more.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt. Circling back to Omari Miller, man, that was an incredible performance. I saw Brian Howell was tweeting out how I think he broke multiple school records for like a freshman debut, which was awesome to see. And man, it's going to be hard to keep him off the field with how he played. He was playing like a vet out there. And I mean, we don't make that comeback, without some of the plays that he was making. And, really just goes to show his dedication, his preparation for whenever his moment was going to come. I think that's so cool that he was able to do that. Not even going into the game, knowing that he was starting or anything like that.
Only played a quarter and a half, which is unreal.
Yeah. It's insane, man. And about the defense, man, this has been a really interesting defense because, it's not all terrible. We're ranked terribly right now, but we get a lot of turnovers, which has been great. And we just need to kind of put that, consistent performance. Yeah, put it all together. And Arizona State provides a great chance for that because they're going to run the football. With Scadaboo, he's a really dynamic running back that can do a little bit of everything. And yeah, this will be a good opportunity to get off, hopefully get to the passer, because last week, Caleb Williams, I felt like our secondary did pretty good. But
especially in the second half, yeah.
Yes. We killed in the second half, Cormani, but we need a pass rush. We can't have whoever's playing quarterback. I always forget his name. Trenton Burgo, I think. He lit us up last year for like 400 yards at Folsom.
Not
can't
this
allow
year.
that
Not
to happen.
This year.
Not this year. No, man. We got to get to the passer. Caleb Williams was having all day to throw back there, for some of those plays. And yeah, this is my hope, because right now I think the line, it actually went down to like 3.5 points right now, where that Colorado's favored. Now I understand, because we haven't put together that full complete game of 4 quarters. My hope is that this is the opportunity where they actually do put it together. And Nicholas is saying here, man, this is going to be, let's see Shedeur put out on put a show on this week, man.
I'm hoping that we don't get off to a slow start like we have the first 4 weeks of the season, because I think that's kind of hurt us a little bit the past 2 weeks, especially.
It has, it has. And it was really cool to see us get off to such a fast start against TCU. Like we totally brought it. That was an electric game the whole time. But yeah, like, I don't know. Again, I'm just a guy here in his bedroom. I don't really know what contributes to the slow starts, man. But hopefully we can get off to a fast start with some urgency. I was telling the guys, if any of the players are listening, man, I think I'll put some money on that, that first line, or that first quarter money line, for us to win the first quarter. If I win some more money, then I can buy some more NIL gear, for everybody, right? So
you want to buy me one while you're at it?
Yeah. You know what, Brandon? I need to do a giveaway sometime, man. I haven't done one of those yet, but um, I do have some Shedeur jerseys coming in the mail, but they won't be here till like October. Have you ordered anything yet this year?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, well
It's
we
too
definitely got to
expensive.
get you. Well, I was looking too. How much are the shirts? Like the custom shirts? Do you have any idea? I haven't looked.
Like
Um,
$40.
yeah, it is a little expensive for a t-shirt, but goes to a good cause, I guess. But yeah, what in terms of this game, man, how do you kind of see it playing out? And what are the keys, to Colorado having success this year?
I think that just getting off to a fast start,
Hmm.
and coming out hot on defense, and containing their keeping Arizona State's quarterback, which I believe I saw this morning is they're on their third string quarterback.
Yep.
Um, and just keep pressure on their quarterback. I can't I saw his name this morning, but I can't remember it off the
I
top of
think
my
it's
head.
Trenton Borgo, something like that.
That sounds right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right. Sorry, I forgot it. Um, but yeah, fast start, keeping the quarterback under pressure, and really just on offense, we need to get the run game going,
Hmm.
and I think that we can with McCaskill and Edwards and Hankerson
Yeah.
and and I'm blanking on.
Dylan Edwards.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no. He was here last year. The other running
Oh,
back who was here last year,
Offerdahl.
Wilkerson.
Oh,
Oh,
Wilkerson.
yeah, and yeah, just I think we have too good of a running backs not to be running the ball, and just oh, and also keeping the pressure off of Shedeur will be huge because I think with the running game getting that going, it'll take pressure off of Shedeur and giving him what am I trying to say here? Getting him getting him yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, get him in rhythm or time to
Yeah,
throw
yeah,
or
yeah,
protection.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right on the money with that, Brandon, because so a lot of Shador's big plays, the chunk plays that we've had on offense this year, they've come from play action. So, even going back to the TCU game, I'm like always harping on this. I think he was 15 of 17 off of play action, for a couple of touchdowns, and the times and the phases of some of the games or periods of the games this year where we've had the most success offensively is we have that run game going. Shador is able to utilize play action. And we saw that as a huge success against USC as well. I mean, it kind of sucks, that college football takes away the sack yardage on the rushing yard totals. But, if you take away Shador's 2 sacks, our team, man, rushed for well over 200 yards last week
Mhm.
against USC. Hankerson, like you were saying, he was money last week. And hopefully we can continue to build on that because it does, when you come in there with that mentality of we're going to establish the run, we're going to bully you off of the line of scrimmage, everything works better. You get the run game going, which then, allows the play action to work, which then allows Shedeur to be hit less, which then, helps the offensive line with their protection. 24 sacks given up in the first 5 weeks. We gave up 2 last week.
It was better
Hopefully,
last week.
yes, yes. Shador still got hit. I think it helps that, he was running some option a little bit. He's deceptively fast. He's got some wheels on him, and it was nice to see a little bit more of a creative or balanced game plan, rather. Because I don't think it's a coincidence. We run the ball more, we're doing play action more. We put up over 40 points again.
And
I don't,
also,
yeah.
there is one more thing there is one more key to the game. We have to stop committing so many terrible penalties. That's killing so many drives. So many
Yes.
terrible penalties.
Yes, Brandon, you're bringing up a really good point here is that we need to be playing clean, disciplined football. I would not be surprised, if Arizona State comes out, tries to bait us, into some of those dumb penalties. I think we did a better job against USC, but there's still, we still have room to grow when it comes to playing disciplined, penalty-free football. Making sure that we're all lined up before we're snapping the ball. You know, I'll never understand the false starts at home. On the road, I guess there's a little bit more grace, but hopefully we can eliminate any of those pre-snap penalties. And I think overall, man, we did a really good job with the pass coverage last week for the most part. Again, we just got to get to the quarterback quicker this time around, and hopefully we can have some more success doing that because, we can't expect our secondary to stick with guys for 7, 8
Right.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Brandon, you reminded me of something, man. Maybe this is when I'll do a giveaway or something. It's like if our special teams, man, can be the reason of like, why we go on to win a game, by a big amount, rather than like making it right now, the game's a little bit more difficult for us. I would love that, man. I want to see special teams truly have a special performance in a positive way. I don't want to see nothing blocked. I don't want to see any missed kicks or anything like that. What are your thoughts on special teams?
You know, speaking of special teams, that that's a preview to one of my predictions this week.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but that's a preview to one of my predictions this week. But yeah, um, Jace Jace Feely has been pretty good, other than missing a few long kicks.
Yep.
He's his kicks against TCU have basically helped us win that game because without those kicks we would have lost. And
Yep.
those two kicks he hit against Nebraska, the 31-yard field goals. Um, he, I mean, he's he's at half. He's had two really big kicks before halftimes against
Yes.
both TCU and Nebraska, and to put us up. What was it, 13-0 at the half? We went against Nebraska, but
Mhm.
I really don't get benching him for Mata. Is that how you say his name, Mata?
Mata. Mhm.
Mata. Um, and but yeah, just special teams has been kind of a mess this year so far. But hey, I did see this that opponents are 0-4 on field goals against us this year, so that's pretty big. So that's 12 points taken off the board.
That's so interesting. That's a very interesting and surprising stat. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
They are 0-4 against us kicking field goals.
Man, that is funny. And yeah, cold weather is coming up here saying Mata doesn't miss, period. Man, yeah, he's been money for us, man, when he's been on the field. And I kind of like this approach that they've taken with him because I think we saw him kick. Both him and Jace have kicked some different field goal kind of positions and yardages. And man, to me, it doesn't matter right now who makes the kick. I just want that kick to be made. And
Me too. Me too.
yeah, yeah, like Mata, man. If we're talking about like 40 yards and within, he was money from Jackson State last year. Doing that as well. And yeah, I think he definitely has a longer range than that. But hey, I'm not a kicking expert to determine,
Neither am I.
who's best for these kicks. I just hope, man, we kick those touchbacks. I don't want any returns, but this is what I think would be great. One of my favorite things about Jimmy Horn coming in this season from South Florida, man, he was dynamic on special teams. I guess this will be my fun prediction. I want to see a Jimmy Horn punt return touchdown this weekend against Arizona State. I think that would be huge.
Let's
So
just say
we'll
great
see.
minds think alike. Let's just say that.
Hey, man, I love that. Well, who are some of your other players that you're hoping show out and have their moments, whether you've been waiting for them, to have their moment, or expecting another stellar performance from some of these players.
Well, real quick, going back to the special teams, we need to talk about the punter
Oh
because
yes.
other than that dumb fake punt blocked against USC, he's been really good.
Yeah.
I think he's had like what pinned 3 or 4 punts inside the 5, and one
Yeah.
went inside the goal line against Nebraska to pin them at the 1. I think that
Yes.
was. Yeah, I mean he's been really good,
Yeah.
but fast forwarding to your question, I think I think that I think I want to see Dylan Edwards because he's because as we've seen against TCU, he's a really dynamic playmaker both in the running game and the passing game. He caught 3 touchdowns and ran for another one. So and then we really haven't seen him do much since then. But really, really, I kind of want to see him get back into the receiving game and because we know we have another uh, pass catching running back like we haven't had since like the Philip Lindsay days. So yeah, and I just love Omarion Miller. He's
Yeah.
I, I think that he'll have another big performance against Arizona State, and I don't know if last week you can call it a breakout game because he only played a quarter and a half, but he's going to break out this game, and the nation will for sure know that Omarion Miller. I almost said Cooper. Um, Omarion Miller is going to have a really big game.
Man, I love it. And when you look at this receivers, I mean, this receiving core, even with Travis out, it's like how are you going to cover these guys? Jimmy Horn, Xavier Weaver, Omarion when they're all on the field. Then you got guys that are really coming along into their own, such as Mikey Harrison. Might we see Javon Antonio, line up at tight end too? I think that he could have some more success going against some of those star position players or linebackers compared to some of those outside corners. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what new wrinkles we see from the offense. Again, this offense, it's building every week in terms of incorporating, um, you know, more creativity and sophistication in the offense. And you brought up Dylan Edwards. It would be really great to see him, like you said, used in the passing game a little bit more. Maybe even lining him up, in that shotgun formation, but then motioning him out.
Like LaVisca.
Yeah, exactly. Using him a little bit like that. A jack of all trades. Dylan Edwards. He's not like a stocky guy like LaVisca was, but in terms of skill set, can do all the same things. And I think, like you hit on, man, I think there's more there, and there's more that we haven't released yet in terms of what all this offense can really do. So man, I want to give a shout out to Coos Corner. You're on YouTube more than anyone I know. Man, this is so funny, man. I appreciate it, Coos, man.
We're
We have
talking
a
to a
lot of
legend
fun
right
here.
here.
I guess this is the perks of doing contract work and working from home, right? Always have a little bit of extra free time to come on here and talk to the fellas. Y'all go check out Coos. We'll be linking up for a show here at some point. Covers a lot of Big 12 stuff, so we'll be talking to him more in the future. But man, it's going to be a fun game, Brandon. And I mean, how excited are you? I know this is like pretty pretty ridiculous. But how does it feel to have a 5:30 Central kickoff right now, man?
I think you mean 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
Yes,
um,
exactly.
yeah, but I mean, this is really. I mean, we've had every single home game. We've had either 11 o'clock kickoffs or 9 p.m. kickoffs, or or our last game against Oregon was at 2:30. So it's kind of in the middle of the day for me at 5:30. So I honestly like the early morning kickoffs because I don't have to wait all day for kickoff because the days just the days just go by so slow when you have to wait all day for kickoff. So it honestly feels like Christmas morning every time the Bucks play because you're just so excited.
Yes, yes, Brandon, you're so right, man. I have felt that way about every game this season, and as well. And it kind of sucks. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. It sucks that the season's like halfway over after this week, man. It's just,
Not if we won the
it's
national
blowing
championship.
by, man. But yeah, we'll just have to see, how the rest of the season progresses. Hopefully the Buffs can really put together a consistent, performance, and we can start playing that complete football as we get farther into conference play. I've been telling everybody this week, special teams, man, you got to keep me off of the cigarettes, man. Y'all are making me want to smoke cigarettes. We cannot have that happen. We got to get it. Oh, I gotta give a quick shout out, Brandon, to our Arizona State super fan here in the chat. Heck, been with us for forever. Listen, Colorado fans, slow your roll. You already found out that Dion is not going there.
Forks down, forks down, forks down.
Now you're going to take third loss in a row. Forks up. Yes.
No, forks
Hey.
down, forks down.
Yeah. Oh man, I love a little of the trash talk, man. It's so funny, and
Spell Dion right.
he probably did that intentionally, man, just to troll us. But man, it's always good to hear from Keck, and we need more Arizona State fans on here as well, because I know it's been a rough start, for Arizona State. We can talk a little bit about them for a few minutes, but Kenny Dillingham, I think he's a great coach. That does not surprise me. That Coach Prime was also, looking at him as a possibility to join the staff last year, but got his own head coaching gig at his alma mater, I believe. They've had a slow start. They've had some tough injuries, but I think they're really going in the right direction. And I think ASU fans should have a lot to be excited about, especially after their freshman quarterback Jaden Rashada is back in the lineup. He's out right now. Have you had a chance to watch much of Arizona State yet, BMAC?
I have not had a chance to watch Arizona State much, but I did see that they put up a good fight against USC. I saw that they had a rough loss last week versus Cal, at home, I think. But yeah, I think that they could be um an upset alert. I hope I'm wrong. I know I'm gonna be wrong because Dion won't let that happen. I think that the momentum we had last week against USC in the second half will carry over, and and just real quick, just tell him to spell Dion right next time.
I'm pretty sure he knows how to spell Dion with how often he's here on this channel. So I think he's just trolling us. But man, it's going to be a fun game. And, a couple of the guys that I think that you should keep an eye on for Arizona State is, again, their running back, Cameron Scadaboo. He's this tiny little guy, but man, he does everything. He played quarterback. He, so he'll pass it. I'm expecting Arizona State to probably throw out some trick plays against us, really get that home momentum going. But Scadaboo, he can receive, he can break tackles, he can run inside, he's got good speed to kick things outside. And to me, he's their most important player. And that's why I think the line is so close, not only having to do with Colorado's inconsistent play, but because, Scadaboo has just been such an important weapon for their offense. And, he's kept them in these games despite their team being filled with just a ton of injuries right now.
And how
So
many
look out
times?
for him.
And how many times over the past 10 years have we had a mobile a running back or a dual quarterback just kill us with his legs and stuff like that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's going to be something important, man, to keep these chunk plays or these plays that break down in which they're able to, take that up for a first down or something like that. We have to limit the big plays. Keck coming in here saying ASU won't win. Not enough horses right now. Too many injuries. I think that is true. However, CU, we cannot be taking this game lightly. I mean, our team right now is on a 2-game losing streak, if I can talk correctly. We have to go in there motivated to get in the win column. And hopefully this can be a game in which we take care of business and we're not letting Arizona State kind of get some belief. We have to kill their belief, because if we let them stick around, anything can happen. We've seen what happens with CSU.
It could be like that game all over again.
Yeah, and I don't want that game.
That's kind of why I was saying it could be a trap game, because of what we saw against Colorado State. But I don't think it will be. But I hope it won't be. But I think the Buffs could win. This could be a game where the Buffs win by 50 or win by 3. In all honesty.
No doubt. Yeah, I guess we can talk about some other predictions if you have any. I don't really have any other predictions.
Not going to spoil them.
That. I just want the Buffs to win, man. I just want the Buffs to win. I don't care how it's done. Let's just get in that win column, because, man, a lot of us are going to be rich people. I guess depending on what your definition of rich is, hitting this, over 3.5 win total. This could happen with us getting our. Well, it's probably for the best, Brandon.
If I bet last season, I'd be like $400 in debt.
Yeah, man, I lost all my bets last week, and that's just how it happens. Some weekends you lose them all. Other weekends, man, you hit them all, and then there's always another day to make it all back and win, right? I guess that's the gambler's toxic mentality, right? But man, again, Brandon, I got to start wrapping up here, but really appreciate your time as always. And again, just thank you for everything that you've done for this fan base, man. In some of our lowest years, you've been out there putting out your wired, fired, and inspired videos.
I like that rendition.
Yes, and
David's version.
But still getting us pumped up, and just really appreciate your love for the Buffs through thick and thin. And you deserve this, man. You deserve a season like this. Your family deserves, a season like this, and I think this is just the beginning.
Just the beginning,
yeah. So
it's been so much fun. Let me tell you that.
I guess I'm having, honestly, as a sports fan, man, I'm having the most fun I feel like I've ever had this year between.
Me too.
Yeah. With what's going on and with the Nuggets winning, it's been a good time to be a fan here in Colorado. That's for sure. But let's let the fellas know, where can they find you and what can they be looking forward to seeing from you, on the social media platforms.
So you can follow me at my Twitter. My handle is bmac7. My headline is Wired, Fired, and Inspired, as David said. You can find me on my podcast, BMX Buffaloes, on Spotify. And yeah, and you can be looking for, as I said earlier, pregame prediction videos, me being really hyped about the Buffaloes, and my sometimes extremely wrong predictions, and an occasional here and there right prediction. I was 3 for 3 against TCU, and really wrong since then on my predictions. So yeah, you guys can find those on my platform. So yeah.
Man, I love it. Yeah, y'all be sure to go find Brandon on Twitter. Again, you can find me on Twitter at David Talks Buffs, and I tagged Brandon, in my most recent post, so you can go find him there. Eli is asking, can we get a big fired, wired, and inspired for the people, Brandon?
You can't get a fired, wired, and inspired, but I will give you this. I am wired, fired, and inspired. Let's go, Buffaloes!
Yes, that is what we need. Again, Brandon, thank you for being on, and just appreciate everything that you've done. For my followers, fans, all that, I will be back later today. Not totally sure when, but that's how I
Stop
do it on this
working.
channel. Hit that bell notification.
Hit
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
No, yeah, that's right. Yeah, share the love. Let me know where you're watching from. And Brandon, appreciate it. We'll see all of y'all later. And as always, go Buffs.